What are summers like in Southwest Florida, specifically the Naples area? I'm going to let you know. We're going to talk about the weather, the lifestyle, the beach, the turtles, and the hurricanes. Stay tuned. Okay, the weather. What's the weather like down here in Southwest Florida in the summer? Well, you guessed it, it is hot and humid. But how do you deal with that? And is it really that bad? You know, this is my 13th straight summer I'm going to be here. So I've learned a few things. So the big thing is there's a rhythm that you got to find living here in the summer. Okay, and the rhythm is you get up early because when the sun rises, it's early sunrise, 5:30, 6 o'clock, it starts getting light. And from there till about 9:30 a.m. is beautiful. It's still humid and very warm. However, it's very tolerable. No one's really up. So you can go for your walks, your runs. I go fishing, okay? You go to the beach, you whatever. You get your exercise in, you enjoy the outdoors. Then about 9:30, it is time to go in. And you go into the air conditioning, no big deal. You do your inside stuff, you do your shopping. You can, between this, if you're going shopping between the car and the store, you're hot, but it's air conditioned in the store and, you can survive. Sometimes you have to actually bring a layer because it's so dang cold in the stores after you come in from 90 to 100 degree heat. But then the beautiful thing that happens is about between 3 and 6 p.m., the clouds rise in the east over the Everglades and it moves in and you get these phenomenal thunderstorms and you get these rains and they come fast, they leave fast, between 20 minutes and 2 hours is you get some weather. And if you like weather watching, I sit under my covered lanai and watch these storms and enjoy the rain and the thunder. There's lots of lightning. It's really cool. And the beautiful thing is it cools everything off. So then, let's say they pass between 6 and 8 p.m., things clear up. A lot of people are kind of done with their day. You go back outside. The beach is empty. It's beautiful. It's cooled off. It is still humid, but it's cooled off. It's tolerable. And I like to go to the beach. You got the sunset over the Gulf. I go, there's the fishing. It's just very, very nice. Take another walk. It's a beautiful lifestyle. That's the rhythm. That's what you do. So what about the lifestyle in the summer in the Naples area? Does that change a lot? I think that gets better. It is, if anyone who's been down here, it is crowded. It's hard to drive around, but the restaurants are crowded. It's hard to get a reservation. But in the summer, the restaurants stay open, and there are some good restaurants down here. Because the people that live in the Naples area, they expect good food and they get it. And people from New York, they expect good food and they get it. And so those restaurants stay open. And now what do they have to do? They have to lower their price to get people there, to keep their staff employed. And now you can go down to, let's say, Fifth Avenue South, $75, 2 entrees and a bottle of wine. It's affordable. Instead of spending $200 to $300 in the same thing in season. Well, and when I say season, we're talking like December through April. That's when everyone's here. So the restaurants clear out. You don't even need a reservation half the time. The bands are still playing in the local bars and such. There's quite a vibrant music scene, and that stays. And the good thing is that the traffic, now you can get around. Well, I'll talk about traffic later. That's kind of its own subject. But there are ways around the traffic. You gotta know the roads to avoid at the certain times of day. I'm going to teach you about that, but not this video. Okay? That's it for the lifestyle. So what about the beach in the summer? Is that possible? Can you get to the beach? Well, I'm here to tell you that the beach is phenomenal in the summer. You got to go early or you go late. Middle of the day, it's really hot. Now, the water's very warm. It's between like 83 and 89 degrees in the summer. So if you like warm water, you're good there. The other really cool thing about the beach in the summer is that the bait fish are right on the beach, and that sets off the really good fishing, okay, but it also sets off the birds. So you got the pelicans diving, you got the terns, you got the gulls, and they're putting on a show, and it's really fun. The sunset at the beach fishing is phenomenal. You can net the bait fish, throw them back out there. It's kind of automatic. It's a blast. So the other thing that happens is after dark, the fish go into the dock lights. And so you could go on the dock. In fact, I'm going to show you some footage of something about a year ago. I videoed some really nice fish in the dock lights. You can also take if you're a little more adventurous like me, you can take your kayak out on the water and then go fish the dock lights from, you just kind of set back from them. And you throw a fly in there and these big snook and tarpon will slam it. It's really fun. So there's that. The beaches are really fun in the summer. Here I am in Goodland, an undisclosed location of Goodland. Just a few, 150, 200 pound tarpon in the dock lights. Look at those creatures. Magnificent. Hey, another really cool thing about the summers down here in the Naples area is the loggerhead sea turtles nesting season, which is basically May through, I believe, October. And these 200 to 400 pound loggerhead turtles at night, their instinct takes them to the beach. And they go up, they dig a big old hole in the sand, they lay their eggs, and she covers them up and then leaves. And then every morning, really early, the county has staff that goes and looks for these nests. You can see them because the turtles have their flippers that leave tracks, and they can tell where the nests are. So they put a wire cage, like a chicken wire cage around them. And they put a big sign on them that says, "Hey, don't disturb these things." And then about 60 days later, they hatch. And if you're there at maybe 2 a.m, you might even see a nest hatching. I've never seen that personally. My daughter has. And it's just really cool. They're highly protected. Last year, there was 1,177 documented nests in the Collier County beaches, which is Marco Island all the way up to Bonita. That's a lot of turtles. So it's just super cool, and that's what you see. If you're here in the summer, you'll see all these little, these chicken wire turtle nest areas that they're protected. I think they're protecting them against the raccoons because they're going to dig them up and chow those eggs. Dogs are not allowed on the beach in Naples because of that. Pretty much because of that. Of course, people don't clean up after their dogs either. So you cannot take your dog on a Naples beach. That's just the way it is. So that's it. The turtles are really cool down here. The summertime is hurricane season, and you got what's up with that. So officially, the hurricane season, I believe, is June through November, but really, the hurricane season it's basically August and September, early October. That's when the risk is for the big ones. And we've had, as you've seen in the news, we've had a couple big ones. We got hit September 28th, 2022 by Ian, and then September of 2017 by Irma. Those are both giant storms. Personally, my house flooded 17 inches in Hurricane Ian, which caused about $300,000 in damage, and it took me 8 months to fix it, which I did, and sold the house. But so I know a lot about hurricanes. There's thing about the hurricanes. Now that I've been through several, and we've also had some near misses with Milton and Helene, etc. You got to keep your eye on it. You got to make decisions. Do you stay? Do you go? I think there's a song that says that. I personally like to get to a safe place close by and stay. I don't like to get on the road because, stuff can happen on the road. You might get stranded out there. I'd rather be inside. I've since bought a house that is hurricane. It's in zone X, which means it's out of the flood zone, hurricane impact windows, generator, the whole thing. I've learned, I also advise my clients about how not to buy in a hurricane risk area as far as surge. So, it's our cross to bear down here, really. Every area seems to have something, whether it's fires or tornadoes or whatever. We have hurricanes. Now, I'm hoping for about a 10-year respite because we've had our share. They say that we're in an El Nino pattern, which means the Atlantic hurricane season is generally suppressed, which is good news. And it's, they're expecting a dry summer. It's May of 2026 now. So let's hope that happens. And I'm going to do a complete long form video on hurricanes. And but that's just part of the summary here. All right. So there it is. I'm going to tell you the truth about it. I'm not going to not cherry pick, but I'm not going to gloss it over or anything like that. I'm going to tell you the truth. All right. There you go.